A pretty emotional moment happened just yesterday in that very room, as that gentleman right there had to tell his teammates he would no longer be part of the squad. Tomas Plekanec has officially retired from the NHL after mutually agreeing to part ways with the Montreal Canadiens. Guys, we got a ton to talk about here. I did not make a video after the Buffalo Sabres game. I was just a little bit too busy. But since then, there has been a ton of Habs news, and I'm going to try and touch on it all as quickly as I can here. So we'll briefly talk about the Buffalo Sabres game and talk about Price and why he might be struggling. I'll give you some injury updates. We'll discuss that a little bit, and I'll try and set up this Vegas Golden Knights game tonight and the return of Max Pacioretty, Habs former captain, to Montreal. But first and foremost, we got to start with Tomas Plekanec. Pretty sad day yesterday. I guess it was quite the emotional moment in the locker room. Shea Weber came and talked to the media afterwards and said it was pretty tough to see Tomas Plekanec in that state, telling his teammates he was no longer going to be with the team. And yeah, pretty sad day for me, and I think for a lot of Habs fans. He was one of my favorite players for many years. I spent so many games rocking that number 14. Good playoff runs too, and I have so much respect for what Turtleneck Plek did in a Habs jersey. The guy bleeds bleu, blanc, et rouge. And he spent a large portion of his career as one of the most underrated centers in the NHL. He had one season at 70 points. He had 3 more at 55 or more points, all while being one of the best shutdown centers in the league. There were portions of his career where only guys like Bergeron, Taves, Datsuk, and Kopitar were ahead of him in terms of defensive ability. And those are some very respectable defensive players, all Selke winners. So yeah, tough day yesterday, but the reason why this all happened in the first place is that Montreal has a bit of a contract jam on their pro roster. They've got guys ready to return from injury. They got Shear back down in the AHL on a conditioning stint. And Plecky was just a little low on the totem pole, and I think what was decided was management was going to trade Plek. Either they had a trade in place for Plekanec or they were going to, and I think that's because Bergevin still would have known that teams would have valued a player like Tomas Plekanec. But in terms of the Habs, thanks to the great performances from Max Domi, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Philip Deneau continuing to be a great two-way center, Plecky was just a little low on the Habs center depth chart. And Bergevin came to him and let him know he was going to try and trade him or had a trade in place, however it may have went. And Tomas Plekanec shut it down. He felt it was very strange playing for a different team than the Habs last season when he played 17 games with the Leafs. And oh, how can you not respect a guy that just doesn't want to play for any other NHL team? God, I love him so much, and I'm really going to miss him on the Habs. And quite honestly, my personal opinion on this situation, I'm not really sure if I like it, because I understand why they had to make the move at this current time, but my concern is that if they deal with injuries down the line this season, they may regret not having Tomas Plekanec in there to fill a role if they're hurt with injuries. And another thing is I was still hoping that Jesperi Kotkaniemi would be sent to the World Junior Championships regardless of his performance this season, because I think it's a very strong development tournament. But now with Plekanec now off the roster, it seems like that is quite a bit less likely, which is a little disappointing to me. I would have liked to see, I mean, it's not confirmed or denied yet, but I personally would like to see Jesperi Kotkaniemi go to the World Junior Championships, dominate for his country, Finland, as one of their best players. So hopefully that can still happen, but with Plek now gone, I think it's a little less likely. So the Buffalo game, that was a weird one. They were just having a scoring competition, it seemed. Both teams had some very nice goals. The Jason Pominville, Jack Eichel, and Jeff Skinner line lit us up that game, lit Price up, I should say. Max Domi with 3 assists, continuing to be absolutely incredible this year. He's top 10 in the NHL in scoring. Wow. I don't see how the Montreal Canadiens lost that trade. They clearly won it. If it's not a win-win for both teams, I think it's a clear win for the Habs at this point. Max Domi is a serious elite talent. especially now because he's showing that he can score goals. But last in the Buffalo game, he put his playmaking skills on display. His sauce passes are absolute grease. Yeah, so ugly Buffalo game. Defense has been struggling the last couple games. Prior to that, I thought the defense has been good. Not perfect, but they've been good. Maybe they were overachieving a little bit, but the last couple games, they've been struggling, and they're dealing with an injury now. Noah Juleson is injured, and he has been for a little while. He wasn't playing quite at 100%, so he sat last game and against Buffalo. So yeah, defense is struggling, but Price is also struggling. Now, I thought he actually played quite well in the game prior to the Buffalo game. I thought he had a pretty good performance outside of that last goal against Tampa Bay. Yeah, outside of that last goal, I thought Price was pretty good. But he took a lot of flack just that night. So then when he had an absolutely awful performance against the Sabres, just the heat came down hard. And I think a lot of it is a bit unnecessary. I mean, this guy is getting paid $10.5 million per year, and he's going to be on the team for a very long time yet. So he is our goalie for now and for the future. It's highly unlikely the guy's getting traded. So we have to sit here and hope that he can get back to the level that he is capable of playing. And the thing is, from what I see in net, he is very technically sound right now. He's not overplaying situations. He looks smooth in the net. He looks calm in the net. But I think there is a serious mental blockage or something pretty serious going on in his head right now where he just does not have the confidence, especially when he gets into a game where he's already let in a couple questionable goals. I think he gets into his head a little bit, and he's got to work through that. Once he does, I think he can get back to his quality of play. And I don't think we should be judging Price on the amount of money that he makes, because that's unfair, really, to the game of hockey. We need to hope that he can play at an elite level and stop pucks with the best, just similar to the best goalies in the NHL. He's capable of it. We have to sit here and hold him to that standard, not to the standard of $10.5 million per year. It is what it is, and he earned that amount of money due to his past performances. Hart trophies, Vezina Trophy, his runs with the Canadian Olympic team, just putting up insane numbers as one of the best goalies in the world. That's what earned him the 10.5. Now we need to hold him to the standard of being an elite goalie and not base it off of what he's making. So tough night for him. Really hope he can rebound. Like I said, I really think it's mainly a mental blockage for him. Maybe he's just trying to be perfect instead of trying to stop pucks. Maybe he himself is trying to live up to the $10.5 million per year instead of just trying to stop pucks. So hopefully we'll see him rebound soon. But tonight, we're going to have Antti-Niemi in net. No Mr. Saturday Night, Carey Price tonight. It'll be Antti-Niemi. We'll talk about that a little later because first, I want to get to some injury updates. Shea Weber practiced today in an optional skate with a few of his teammates. Juleson, Gallagher, someone else too, I can't remember who, but Shea Weber is getting very, very close, and I don't think he's that far away from doing full practices with the team. I think at the latest, it'll be 5 weeks or so that we'll see him, but it really could be sooner. So look to see him in practice soon. Probably no contact at first, and then full-fledged practices. I'm curious if they'll send him down to Laval for a conditioning stint where he's been out of the game for so long and hasn't played at a full pace. Really curious if they'll do that. I think that would be great for the Laval Rocket to have him down there for 1 or 2 games. Just that presence. He's the leader of this organization in terms of the hockey product. So I think that'd be good if they tried that. But yeah, it's going to be great. If this team could have any weakness right now, you really don't want them to have any, but if they could have one and you could pick it, I would pick the power play because we are going to be adding the best right-handed power play shot back into our lineup very soon. So we're bound to see some improvement there. Mind you, would like to see them improve themselves before he gets back and not rely on him, but it's inevitable. There's going to be improvement there when Weber gets back because he's going to be banging Weber bombs, posting in. You know it's going to happen. I cannot wait for that. So just a few more weeks, and we're going to see him in there. And not only is one of the best shots on the power play, he's still one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. He is incredible. Now, there will probably be some rust when he first gets back into the lineup. That's to be expected. He's been away from the game for so long. But after a few weeks, I have no doubt in my mind that a guy like him is going to be back to the level of playing ability that he is capable of. And it's really going to help Price too, especially late in games. We've seen this team give up leads late in games, and that'll be a lot less likely with Shea Weber out there. He's going to eat like 25 minutes a night. And it's, yeah, just can't wait to have him back. He's one of my favorite players to watch on the ice, and this year has taken so long to go by because I've wanted to see him back in a Habs jersey and back on the ice. Schlemko is also close to returning. Shearback is down and on a conditioning stint in the AHL right now. He scored a goal in his last game. He could likely get a chance with the Montreal Canadiens very soon because Yoel Armia is out 6 to 8 weeks with a lower body injury, which is likely a knee injury after what happened in that Rangers game. So, so we'll see him soon. Paul Byron is also out week to week. So we got a few injuries right now. So I think that means Nikita Shearback could get a serious shot at showing what he can do. And he has to run with it at this point. He really does, because if he doesn't, it might be waiver wire for him. You never know, because Kenny Agostino for the Laval Rocket has been playing really well. He's got 10 points in 12 games for Laval. He earned a call up to the Habs while Shearback is on this conditioning stint, and he looked pretty good. No obvious mistakes from him, no flashy offense from him, but he didn't look out of place in that game against Buffalo. So there's a bit of competition there for Shearback, and hopefully he can earn that spot and show us and this team what he is capable of doing. He's got a lot of power in his strides. He's a good playmaker, and he's got a good shot. Sometimes his hockey IQ is a little lacking, or his effort might be a little lacking. But when he played at his best last year, it was when he started playing a two-way game and back-checked hard, retrieved pucks, and then took it the other way. So hopefully we can see that effort from him, and he absolutely explodes here, or at least shows a bit of improvement. That would be lovely. Brendan Gallagher might not be at 100%. He practiced with the injured players today. He took a therapy day yesterday, so a little concern there. Not sure if he's going to be in the lineup tonight. I think he is, but I don't know for sure. We'll have to hope. Keep an eye on that. He is the engine to this team. You do not want to see him go down for any significant amount of time. But if it's something nagging and he needs to sit out for a game or two to be safe, that might be the better option. So guys, tonight we have the Vegas Golden Knights, and Max Pacioretty is returning to Montreal, our former captain and one of the best 5-on-5 goal scorers from a few years ago. For a span of time, he was absolutely lighting the lamp all the time. He struggled last year for the Habs, obviously, and he's struggling a bit to start this season, and he dealt with a bit of an injury issue early in the season. He only has 2 points so far, and Thomas Tatar, who was acquired by the Habs in that trade, along with Nick Suzuki, Thomas Tatar has 14 points in 16 games. So he's looking really good for Montreal. He is also going to be playing his former team tonight, the Vegas Golden Knights. Wasn't there for very long, and they kind of shafted him in terms of ice time and chances to play. But he did score a pretty damn nice goal for them in the playoffs. So it'll be really interesting to see how Thomas Tatar does tonight. He's been on fire for the Habs. I'm expecting him to be pretty damn good tonight too. But to be quite honest, I'm a tad bit worried about the game tonight. We have Max Pacioretty returning to Montreal. He's going to want to go off. And I'm hoping Montreal gives him a good ovation. I do think we're going to hear some boos. I do think we will. But it'll be after he gets a standing O or some type of, nice moment from the crowd. But it's a passionate fan base. And after he gets that, that's it. It's done. You are not a Hab anymore. I mean, you're not now, but you're officially not a Hab, and it's time. You're the enemy, and you're going to get booed. I really do think there's going to be some boos. Not out of disrespect, more so out of respect, because he's a good player, and they're going to want to throw him off. So yeah, there's that. Jonathan Marchessault, Vegas is one of Vegas's best players. He's from Quebec. Marc-Andre Fleury is starting. He's from Quebec. He always plays lights out against the Habs. So it's going to be a tough game tonight. Vegas has been struggling to start the season. They're desperate for points. So just in general, it's going to be a very tough game for Montreal. Hoping they can come out with the 2 points. Max Pacioretty lines up with Cody Eakin at center. Underrated playmaking center in the NHL, Cody Eakin. And on his right side, there's Alex Tuch, a large power forward who recently signed a contract extension with Vegas. Very good player. So Patches is on a great line, and that first line for Vegas can be pretty lights out when they want to be. Marchessault, William Karlsson at center, and Riley Smith on right wing. So it's going to be a tough game. They have a pretty decent defense too, with Nick Holden, a good two-way defender, Shea Theodore, good puck mover. Nate Schmidt is out for them as he's still suspended for the issues with PEDs. So yeah, it should be quite the entertaining game. Really looking forward to it. And I'll talk to you guys after the game tonight with a post-game reaction. Hopefully it's a big win. Go Habs, go, baby! Woo! And if you like my videos, of course, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And cheers, guys. Remembrance Day tomorrow. Make sure to tune in to Coach's Corner tonight, Hockey Night in Canada. I'm sure it's going to be a special tribute from the one and only Don Cherry. Cheers.